Even scientific studies have a bias. You got your facts, I got weight. But why if maybe a little crazy? Studying language AZ and everything between. English colonized lives, I won't settle for your dreams. Shuttle on the scene, I'm flying, I'm unidentified. Trying to give me titles, I flip the script like a Gemini. Align with the stars, yes, really I am a stronger being than Iron Man. Never mind the world, I got the iron hand. Never mind the money, you should see my palm. I could touch the world, atomic bomb style. You know life goes on, child. We've only been here for a long while. Starving and I'm walking down a long aisle. Everybody looking at me like I'm on trial. All cause my skin tone sound like wow. Sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Cause what I know now, it's no wonder why these haters try to profile.
Sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Wisdom of the womb in your ear right now, now. It just sound like wow.
Unk on my chest, a symbol of my success. I travel through time and mind, give this body a rest. I'll shoddy the sheriff, no need to body the rest. Shells alter his chest, I'm just revolving the stress. Since we all plagued, I drop pearls of age. No equivalent wage, words stick to the pages of the sages. Written for some everyday kids. We grow old, you know they say we don't stay big. Tables turn, what's your response to how they live? It's getting late, we running out of time. Why I call it mankind if anybody gets left behind? Shout out to my mother, she's a great gift I find. All this greatness in line, sacred paradigm spinning in my mind. And it just sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Cause what I know now, it's no wonder why these haters try to profile.
Sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Wisdom of the womb in your ear right now, now. It just sound like wow.
So walk 20 some grams from my sock. All I ask is please listen when I talk. I just hope to shift the coast when I drop. All I know is that the limit isn't my stop. On this road, how much collisions will I cops? Always on the mind, and if you're holding it down, pop, it can't hurt to ask right. The better man is never supposed to play the ass right. I could be the worst, I was pondering it last night. By a palm through an owl in a tree. A bit about me, not sure about what you see. I'm a real mother's son, not sure about what you be. Whatever will, I guess. On my worst day, I may reveal my best. So you can sell your soul, I will still invest. To uplift the rest who are still oppressed. Yes. Sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Cause what I know now, it's no wonder why these haters try to profile.
Sound like wow. It just sound like wow.
Wisdom of the womb in your ear right now, now. It just sound like wow.
Wisdom of the womb. Wisdom of the womb. Canaanland Moors compilation. Islam to all the Moors, peace and love. We're here once again. Get that workout in. Get that mental workout in. Super Tuesdays, where you got Canaanland Moors class right here. Sometimes Ustream. Depends if people could get it on their phone and BS like that, since Skynet's crashing. But it's alright, you know what I mean? We're gonna use them up for what we could use them up for right now. So 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock, then you get your 30-minute break, you go do whatever you gotta do, and then 9:30, MHHS Eyes Wide Open, Blog Talk Radio. Then that's going till, so it's the Super Tuesday. You know what I mean? Get your stacks of paper and stuff like that. So before we start up, you know what I mean? We just gotta put something on the record once again. for anybody at all. Doesn't matter you classify yourself as at this point. But if you're dealing with death, if death happens to just fall in your lap, don't be mad, don't be sad, don't be all of that groveling stuff. Yeah, I know you love them and all that stuff. I know, I understand. I've been there. I've cried on the casket and all that stuff. I've been there. You know what I mean? Don't take him and all that stuff. Get up. Trust me, I know it. I've been to some serious ones. Right? People want to go in the hole and stuff like that. But before we do that, we just want to send condolences to the McAllister family. As Moors, I mean, people have an issue with Moors because they think we don't like each other, and we don't like our people and whatever, right? But the most moral people are Moors, especially Moors who have sincerity, like we talked about on Sunday's class. Humble Moors. Moors who just being Moors. That's all they know, just to be Moors. So we had another unfortunate one. Right? Another unfortunate one. Families in mourning after a house fire claimed the lives of a mother and son in Perry Sunday morning. The two have been identified by family members as Estella and Moses McAllister. Now Moses is our online brother, Moby. The more just popped out of nowhere. And just humble more. Like nothing else to say. And then this happens, and then you check, and then you find out that he's McAllister, which, you know, MC, that's the same thing as me, right? Now you got the MC, then that's proof that you're more. And the name is Moses. And his mom was Estella. Remember from Sunday, we're dealing with the divine side. We're not dealing with the go in the box side. We're not dealing with put in the hole side. It's on a totally different plane right now if you're ready. If you're not ready, then it is what it is. She was a friend to everyone. Every time you saw her, she had a smile on her face. And this was just horrible, says Estella's lifelong friend, Marva Edwards. And go check Edwards. "74-year-old Estella, 74, 11, right? So, you know, she's leaving a gateway. To where? You know, but her name is Estella, so, and because of her son being, you know, humble giant, and then her, every time you saw her smile on her face and all that, you know what type of individuals we're dealing with. We're dealing with the same type of individuals who Yahshua said there'll be people who come do bigger stuff than I did. You're looking at me. When you have gods walking all around you, and you're worrying about demigods. And then the blink of an eye, you're gone. Did you get the lesson? Or you caught up in the groveling? You're not getting the message. 74. Just like that, fire in the house. However it happened, firebomb, if police did it, if Illuminati did it, if it was an accident, if it was, raccoons stuck in the thing, whatever. Just like that. But what do we have left? We have that memory left. We have this example of the great things that were done. And again, this is based off of, I don't know him. All I know that he was just the humblest Moor. I never ever met a Moor that was humble like that Moor. Never ever. Came out of nowhere. Like, who is this Moor? Like, where? Right? 74-year-old Estella and 27-year-old Moses, right, and 9, number of completion. So, both of them did their work that they came to do. And no more hardships and stuff like that, and you can't pay rent and mortgage and, car payment and gotta get up to go to work and no, paid their dues, next plane, out of here. "74-year-old Estella, 27-year-old Moses were in the house that night. The family says the fire started in the den, trapping them both inside. They're saying that the house was burnt down, and they said that my sister and her son was up in there, still up in there, and the firemen couldn't get in there because the blaze was so heavy," says family member Joe Lewis White. Family members say Estella liked to fish and was a member of the New Bethel Missionary Baptist Church. Moses worked at Walmart and was working on getting his CDL license. So he's not somebody that's just out here being crazy, that, karma catch them or something like that. This is work got done. Just like Mubujwali came. Work got done. Regardless of whether assassination, pneumonia, whatever. Serves purpose. Once the flesh has served its purpose on the earth plane, which is to, have an impact on people and make sure that, you're not an egomaniac thinking that you're somebody. When you're not nobody unless you do for others. So it's somebody who's, trying to do something with their life or whatever. Edward describes Estella as a sister, and White says Moses was a very kind and respectful young man. Family and friends are remembering Estella and Moses Sunday, saying they both left lasting impressions in Perry. She makes everybody more joyful every time she shows up. She's going to be missed, Joe says of Estella. He's a good fella. He's going to be very missed too. My, what a loss. Officials say the fire appears to have started in the living room, but the exact cause of the fire has not been determined. The investigation is ongoing. And for all those dumbasses that are going to say, "Well, what are the Moors going to do about it?" Shut the hell up. Do you see Moorish fire anything around here? You see any Moorish doctor anything around here? So shut the hell up about what the Moors are going to do when something happens to a Moor. It's beyond that for you people, you crazy people, the zombies that are clearly brown and want to call themselves black. This is a different plane right now. So when I say Islam to the Moor, because we already know, we had our 2.5 conversations or whatever on the internet, and you were studying your lessons and all that, so you already know what's up. So we'll just go to the Holy Quran of the Moorish Science Temple of America, the holy book of the Moorish Americans, chapter 4, Death and Burial, Matheno's Lessons, the Ministry of Death. When John was 12 years old, his mother died, and neighbors laid her body in the tomb among her kindred in the Hebron burying ground, and near to Zachariah's tomb. And John was deeply grieved. He wept. Matheno said, "It is not well to weep because of death. Death is no enemy of man. It is a friend who, when the work of life is done, just cuts the cord that binds the human boat to earth, that it may sail on smoother seas." Why would you want to stop that? Why would your intention to be left, went somewhere that obviously better than here if you're going on smoother seas? Obviously it's better than here. So why is there, what's the mechanism that's causing us in our mind to not celebrate that every single time? Because we're still in our, we'll get there later. No language can describe a mother's worth, and yours was tried and true. But she was not called hence until her tasks were done. The cause of death are always for the best, for we are solving problems there as well as here, and one is sure to find himself where he can solve his problems best. One is sure to find himself where he can solve his problems best. So if you're somewhere where the problems aren't being solved, something has to change. It's not going to happen for some candles and stuff that you lit. You better have a connection to your ancient foremothers and forefathers, or in candles and all that stuff is not going to work. Crystal is not going to work. That's just stones on your windowsill. It is selfishness that makes one wish to call again to earth departed souls. All you miss you people. This is Moorish science lessons. This is not the black lessons and the NOI lessons and the Rastafarian lessons. This is Moorish science lessons. So only people who are interested in Moorish science are going to want these lessons. Everybody else, they're just going to be complaining about how come we're reading from the Aquarian Gospel. Like dumbasses. And again, it is selfishness that makes one wish to call again to earth departed souls. Now, remember that these are divine instructions by Prophet Noble Drew Ali, because they are for the Moorish Americans to free themselves from mental slavery. That's all this is about. Yeah, we could have our own plates, but this is not about that. Yeah, we could use our nationality card, cross the border. Yeah, we could use our nationality card, put it down, get taxes off. Yeah, we could use our nationality card to do whatever, papers to do whatever. Yeah, but that's not what this is about. This is about a nation of people redeeming themselves because everybody who was supposed to redeem you sold you out. So it's either going to be on you making sure the younger generations don't have to deal with the BS that we're dealing with, or we can keep playing around that it's all about plates and it's all about cards and it's all about how do we right to travel and how do we, not get the birth certificate and how do we not pay something and how do we not forget all that. Brother Denamel, Islam to Big Brother Denamel, who's been telling us, the divine stuff's coming. And those who, real recognize real, heed to the warning and prepare themselves for when divine time comes. And he's not, you're not looking at him as he's the grand, serpentor of our Moorish whatever, adept chamber of the Moors. Just more that we know, that we build with. He has a high degree of knowledge because he's obviously connected to his ancient foremothers and forefathers. So certain things that he presents is gonna be legit without you needing to go check a book to see if it's legit. That's divine time right now. So put away all your childish things. Get all the stuff that you're playing around with. Leave those stuff alone for a bit. Because the way that it's working right now, and you're seeing it amongst yourselves. You're seeing it amongst yourselves. The way that's working right now is that the divine is directly involving itself right now. There's no choice. Do you have any we talk about Aquarian age and stuff is speeding up and all that. This is what's going on right now. And the only way that you are going to be able to survive without getting whiplash and popping your head off of your shoulders because of the light speed that you're going to be waking up at, you need to be grounded. And how do you be grounded? What's being grounded called? Mooring. And if you're not a moor, then you're going to float off with a body going one direction and a head going in the other direction. So Islam to all the Moors who have proclaimed their nationality, whether they've done it by paper or card, or whether they just think in their mind that, hey, I'm L when somebody calls them straw man name. Whatever. Anybody who says that they're not Negro, black, colored, and that they have a nationality, we're going to have fun tonight. Everybody else, go do something. All beings are multidimensional, including humans. Our problem is that we have forgotten our multidimensional nature and have been disconnected from much of ourselves. The variety of beings out there, which you will become aware of through awakening your third eye and spiritual transformation, is truly amazing. So amazing, right? That a sister just came into the information 10 minutes before class, text me. Actually, you know what? We'll put it on the record. Just so you can see exactly what we're talking about. not just coming into the information. Now remember, the variety of beings out there which you will become aware of through awakening your third eye and spiritual transformation is truly amazing. Right? Now, remember, this is somebody who's just coming into the information, right? As Moors who are already in this information, certain things we already experience, like Mother Rosmariah says, you know what I mean? When you hurl on yourself a few times during your exorcism, that's how you know you're being exorcised. You know, and watch out for other people, because you know what I mean? Don't let them throw up on you while they're getting their exorcism. So she texts that. Ain't nothing wrong or anything, right? And basically throughout throughout the last week or whatever like that, she's coming into different aspects of her culture, you know what I mean? Like just studying or whatever like that, you know what I mean? But I'm have an experience that's relative to like what she's studying, right? Studying some stuff, but I'm sure she had an experience where, you know, somebody gave her something. And then she used the thing and it put her in a place where she wasn't there. She'd never been there, but she was familiar with this place. And then she texts me that she's feeling this heaviness in her core. Right? Remember core, and then now we're talking about the chakras now. And we're talking about the energies that are at play behind the scenes to force you to wake up to what's going on right now. Right? Saying that she wants to cry and all that. I'm like, yeah, let it all out. Because you're having your exorcism right now. Let it all out. Don't even cry. Don't even stop if it's coming like that. You know what I mean? Get all that nigger stuff out of you through your tears. Get it out. Because that's what's supposed to happen. You're supposed to have the moment when you stop and think to yourself how much of a dumbass you were for calling yourself black for so long. Willingly, lovingly calling other people that. And then you come to the realization of a nationality and the whole world has one and you don't. And now we're getting into where it's not just about nationality. Because Noble Drew Ali told us that this was a divine and national movement. So being that it's divine, being that it's national, and there's a succession in the frequency of what he called this movement, there's been attention on national. If you don't have national by now, then I'm sorry for you. Because there's been, you know what I mean, we're talking about, you know, CM Beta now. Because this stuff's in the Library of Congress, which is national. But he was talking divine stuff though, but it's in the National Archives. So we've been at national. And the divine has overtook the national. We're letting you know this. You're realizing that, you know what I'm saying? Like when you, and I keep using this example because I don't even want to, but when you have a situation that you know is supposed to go bad and you put down nationality and it goes good, that's divine. Working on behalf of, just for the simple fact that you're on the frequency of nationality. Because nationality is a polarizer of energy. Because it's divine. That's why this man said it, divine and national. Well, yeah, I gotta give him his props since we're on YouTube. Islam to Prophet Noble Drew Ali for all the work that he did in making sure that we know about our divine and our national. Not just telling us about national stuff only. Getting us to think so we can save ourselves. Islam to Noble Drew Ali. From nature spirits to angels to extraterrestrials to huge beings maintaining the dimensions to the tiny beings and particles, there are beings everywhere. An explanation of the infinite variety of beings in existence is beyond the scope of any book, as it is truly infinite. Now, the reason again, because again, there's when stuff goes down, that's divine. You know that it's divine, right? Now, everybody saw what was going down in Sunday class. What's wrong with Kudro or whatever. Kudro didn't even know what was wrong. Because all I was doing was cleaning up the house. That's all. Just cleaning up. And then I sneezed. And then couldn't stop sneezing after that. And then nose just running. I'm not feeling sick or nothing like that. I'm not feeling like I'm coming down with flu or whatever. Nose just running. I'm like, okay, well, yo, maybe it's the herbs that I got from this morning. Maybe it's the herbs working or whatever. Then if the herbs are working, the moon and all that stuff, maybe like some other stuff's going on, which is even why I even went here. And then this is from just what we're gonna do in class today. Okay, as I'm pulling the stuff down and reading it, I'm realizing that everything that's getting pulled down is relative to what's going on. So when you're talking about extraterrestrials, angels, spirits, and all that stuff, and people go all over there, they forget about the part about tiny beings and particles, which is where, I'm thinking now, because I'm not distorted in my mind. I'm sane. But what if it was a being in a part, like, is it so divine that beings are in dust particles? Like, when you get the light on the angle and then you see all this stuff floating, man, all those are beings, not just dust particles. Because if it's matter, then it's vibrating. You can see it. It's vibrating. So it's energy. Right? So this spirit took me. This particle spirit. Because everything's good right now. Just like that. As soon as class was done, woke up the next morning, one blow, and then that was it. Nothing else after that. Right? An explanation of the infinite variety of beings in existence is beyond the scope of any book, as it is truly infinite. Like Noble Ali. Finite minds can't comprehend the infinite. Right? By awakening your spiritual senses, you will inevitably become aware of many different beings, and you will be able to communicate directly with them. So that's why we call today, what's your spiritual status? Because, the reason why I go at Dirty Moors, how I do, it's not because of something they say and something that they did or something that whatever. It's because of energy. And I really have an issue with people with messed up energy. There's people with messed up energy that it's tolerable because you know that they're not concrete on that frequency. Like they waver, you know what I mean? That just comes out sometimes. Just like, you know, entities, you know, which again is energy. Just a flash of, right? But people's energy. Because no matter who they are, no matter where they come from, and you can go ask them, when they come to Cujo's spot, as soon as they pass the threshold, what the hell's going on in here? Why is the energy just so, however they take it? Every single time, anybody. Guy coming to fix the whatever. That's not me. I'm not like, but if you have all these particle beings, and these particle beings are actually really real, now we can understand why you get in an accident. And then and again, don't forget, we're not even getting into aura and stuff like that yet. We're talking about the things that are visible, which means that they're closer to you than something that is unseen, that flickers on and off. So all these energies are awakening themselves right now. All these energies. But remember, we're talking about particle beings that if we are to really be who our ancient foremothers and forefathers were, it makes complete sense why Noble Drew Ali said we had to think like them. Because thinking like them puts us in a different place. So, in the time of our ancient foremothers and forefathers, for sure they knew about particle beings, extraterrestrials, and everything else that seems, you know, new age today and whatever. So you have, these are the positions, right? This is where your spiritual divine self, this is where you're at, right? First, guides. Now, remember again, we're talking about how at all times everything that we study connects to something that Noble Drew Ali led us to stress the point that, yeah, he actually knew what the hell he was talking about, right? So guides. Guides are usually other beings who have incarnated as humans before. They are just like us, except they are not incarnated while they are your guide. They may or may not incarnate again on multi-dimensional beings. Esoteric, spiritual, and metaphysical from esoteric, spiritual, and metaphysical, they have incarnated at least once before. They are fit to help guide you because they know what it is like to be here, and they are not currently incarnated. They are essentially residing in their light body in higher dimensions, and so they have a much broader view of reality, right? They are essentially residing in their light body in higher dimensions, so they have a much broader view of reality. They are not distorted by the astral body so they can communicate with many levels, beings, and dimensions clearly and with ease. Right? And these are our voodoo priestesses, etc., that go into trance and then come out as somebody else and tell you about stuff that only you know. And then the spirit leaves and then they come back and they don't even know what happened. Because on the other side of that individual's beings have access to use that vessel. Just like the spirit is housed. Well, okay, the spirit puts somewhere else and then put something else in there. And depending on what level you're dealing with, you're either going to get the Anton LaVey, you know, get calling those people, those stuff, right? Or you get more appropriate guides. They know a lot about you and your future and will help in whatever way they can for your highest good. Right? So all those people say, well, you know, yeah, I saw Satan and yeah, I sold my soul to him and then, you know, now I'm a millionaire, you know. Like, not those guides. The guides that are looking that you're doing good. Right? There's only way they're going to guide you. The only way they're going to guide you is that they already know your potential. And their duty is to guide you toward that. And it's for you to realize who the guides are, right? For yourself, in your travel on this terrain of, you know, exercising your birthrights. You're traveling this terrain. Keep in mind, we're talking about guides. So as you travel the terrain, if you don't know where you're going, something is going to draw your attention to show you where to go. And it's, are you on the level to pick up on that happening? And keep in mind, they know a lot about you and your future, right? Because they already know what. It's, are you going to walk the path? Because they're just a guide. They're not going to give you advice or nothing like that. They're just a guide only. That's it. They know a lot about you and your future and will help in whatever way they can for your highest good. However, they cannot help you if you do not want them to, or if what you ask is against your higher self's purpose. So you have a divine purpose. You have a higher self's purpose. It's like the people who say, yeah, my purpose is to be, you know what I mean? The guy rhyming and stuff like that, but, you know, they know how to set up sounds and, you know, they can do the technician part better than rhyming. But they're abandoning their higher purpose, that if they would put that energy toward what their gift is, opposed to what their gift isn't, then the universe would open up some more. And then you get some more guides to help you. Why? Because again, going back again, that they're going to help you once you're working toward your highest good. Once you say, for a second, well, you know, I don't have to be good right now, I could, you already threw yourself off. Like way off, like tumbling down the freaking stuff. Now you gotta come back up that stuff and now you're complaining. When the guide who already saw the stuff already, where you're heading to, came and showed you and you want to pay attention to it. all beings in higher dimensions respect your free will. And it is a rule that they may not impinge upon it. That's why they say strive for good. Because as soon as you don't strive for good, as soon as you start playing the selfishness, you're the man and stuff like that, don't worry, something's gonna come to show you that you're not the man. That you ain't nobody. You're not the queen of anything. You'll get, so, you know, that's something that's already happened. So don't repeat the stuff. Those of these stuff don't know about stuff Dirty Moors did in the 1920s, 30s, 40s, and then be doing those stuff today, talking about there's my brothers and stuff like that. Those Dirty Moors. What are you talking about? Those aren't the guides that you should be following. That's not the guides. It doesn't seem like they're leading you toward your higher purpose. Right? If you ask them to help you, they will certainly do all they can, as long as what you ask for is within your highest good. So if you're not striving for your highest good, don't bother looking for guides. Don't expect them. Don't even wish for them. Because they're not going to be there for you if you're not striving for your highest good. That's the only way the guides are going to come into your path to help lead you. And since we were talking about past again, chapter 4, death and burial of Elizabeth, lessons, right? So it's only because of Mobay why we're even reading this. So check how everything's correlating to people doing work bigger than they're supposed to be doing here. To teach men to be pure in heart, you must yourself be pure in heart, in word and deed. In infancy, the vow for you was made, and you became a Nazarite. The razor shall not touch your face nor head, and you shall not taste wine or fiery drinks. Men need a pattern for their lives. They love to follow, not to lead. The man who stands upon the corner of the path and points the way, but does not go, is just a pointer, and a block of wood can do the same. The teacher treads the way. On every span of ground he leaves his footprints, clearly cut, which all can see and be assured that he, their master, went that way. So we're looking at the impressions left by Noble Drew Ali as to the path that we're supposed to live, and it's supposed to be for the highest good. That's why the motto of the Moorish movement is uplifting fallen humanity. That's why the motto is that. Because yeah, we can have all the perks of being Moors, but that's not what this is about. This is about, if you know that you're not Negro, black, and colored, you better be doing something to get this information out to our people. Because they're waking up. Trust me, they're waking up. Trust that they're waking up. The people are waking up. Everybody's waking up. Because what else are they going to do? Nobody's sleeping forever. You play games all you want, but you know, younger generations are waking up younger. And I wait until they're 30 or whatever to know that people sold them out. And they know that when they're young and agile. And they have lots of energy to get rid of. And you know what they're doing? They're not going and taking out nothing on nobody. They're letting other people know. You know that we're Moors? You know we're not black? You look at yourself. Young people. Why? Because, you know what I mean? It's that time. The divine side is getting everybody. Whether you like it or not, you're going to get it by the divine side. And you better be anchored. Because if you're not moored, if you're not grounded, if you don't have a nationality, then make sure you tell the people when you go tell them that they better, consider this information. Because divine is not good with people who are not striving for their highest good. Divine doesn't play with them people. Those people suffer. Simple. Angels. Angels are from higher dimensions and do not incarnate into matter. They are like the creators, messengers, and healers. They will always come when asked and help to beings, multidimensional, spiritual awakening, guides, angels, light body, meditation, self-healing, and sending of love. As they come from higher dimensions of love and light, they are unable to really feel and understand what it is to be human. They can send us love and healing and help to guide us through certain periods of life. They are essential when it comes to spiritual work, as they send vital light and love to help clean our energy bodies, activate the light body, and repair its structures. Without their help, spiritual transformation would be extremely slow, if possible at all. So, you're coming into nationality and birthrights. You thought that this thing was all about national stuff all this whole time. Right? And you go into the divine side, and when you go into the divine side, it's like stepping on the merry-go-round going 50. You get the whiplash because you really weren't grounded. You thought you knew some stuff. But you forgot the divine side. Right? You have the divine side. So, the angels, the Michaels, the Gabriels, the angels, they're just doing what they do. Need some energy? Send you some stuff. So Friday is the holy day. So everybody can get their charge from the angel. But there's 7 of them. So, that's why when the Moor made the post, the meme about, I know today is holy day. How's them other days going? You gotta check the other days. Why? Because this is not, don't get caught up. You know what I mean? Just like the Orisha sister told me, Zareem, well, you wearing black pants or whatever, you better take those black pants off. Because of the bad energy. And then they got the people playing around. Remember, she's from the continent side. She's from the continent side. Remember, we're talking about divine part, right? Our people say they came from over there on a slave ship, right? She's from over there, and she's saying, this is on Mantis Views 29 on YouTube, just go watch for yourself. She's saying that don't wear black because, like, nothing all black. Make sure that there's something on it, something different colors or something like that. Don't just wear all black stuff, because how negative that is. She's from over there. What's she talking about? She's talking about the frequency. She's talking about the energy. That's not calling angels, and that's not calling guides. You wear some black stuff, fall on stairs. Just go check. Every time all those times you stubbed your toe, you're probably wearing black socks. Just check. And the divine was dealing with that toes case, but you weren't paying attention because you're too busy writing writs. So write writs. I'll light some candles. You'll do some divine things. Do some meditation. Do some astrology. Go further than what's in your immediate, you know what I mean? That's why I'm kind of glad that, even the Europeans, Drawley even told the Europeans going to tell you the truth, right? These people coming out, they're pumping up the whole astrology thing with all the moons and all that. They're pumping it. They're like, yeah, go do something with the energy and all that. Letting people know. Why? Because divine time right now. Yeah, the national stuff will work, but imagine the divine was behind it. For sure the national stuff works. We know that already. We already know Moors, Islam. We already know. We had our run-ins to know that nationality and saying that you're Moorish American, whatever like that, is way more better than saying anything that any of these people who are saying that they're not Moors. We already know, right? There's higher things going on. And again, it's reversed. Right? The powerful place that we're going to upon coming into the realization that's why Noble Drew Ali said divine first and not national. Right? Because remember, it was when he was doing certain things, he had national before divine. And that was mainly in the warnings. Right? Lower self, favorite one. So remember, these are all the beings. You have the guides. You have the angels who, they've been here. We don't got any, you know what I mean? They've been here. All we could do is utilize them for whatever it is that they bring. Get the, check, there's a book called, World's Angels or Angel Dictionary or something like that, but whatever. It talks about all the angels from all the cultures. The angel book, right? Get that and then, find the ones so that we can invoke them, just like we invoke Friday's angel. That's what we're doing. What we're doing is invoking Friday's angel. When we say Friday's holy day for Muslims all over the world, it's not ritual about go pray. It's about calling the energies of that holy day, which is only a holy day because it's an angel. So lower self. The calcified ego personality, identity construct, trapped in identification with the roles that it plays. Right? Remember, we're talking about these are not just stuff outside. These are also yourself. You can either be a guide. If you're gravitating on your lower self, these are the things. So you can know when you're getting on your lower self. So you can check yourself. That's why Joali said to know your lower self, so you can be able to check yourself not to go there. Because it's the lower self. Why you going there? Right? Speaking about lower self, we might as well just do that. Put that on the record quick fast right now. Right? So when you have black guys putting out stuff like this, right? In order to sway people from Moors, okay? Remember, at all times, for Moors, Islam is I, self, law, and master. No, that's the nation of gods and earths. They're way after the Moors. They're way after Noble Juali. They ain't found that. I, self, law, and master. That's what Islam is to Moors. Not some Muslim stuff, go and pray and all that. It's not that. So all those Islam rape children, stuff like that people wanna put out there, you're putting that out there, not on the Moors. Because everybody except Negro, black, conscious people in North America, everybody knows that the Moors have a pristine legacy, even with the dirt that they did. Even with the dirt that we did as Moors, the Moors still get supreme honors. That's how good the good was that we did. That people didn't even care about the bad stuff we did. We were on such the highest good that the negative stuff that we did didn't influence how people looked at us. They still looked at the good that we did. Which was take all that information that was in quote unquote Kemet and bring it out to the world so everybody can have it. Same thing that Noble Juali did. All these teachings and lessons about know the lower self, know the higher self and all that stuff that was hiding away in Persia and hiding away with certain people who were yogi master and go around the world talking about their, you know what I mean, for peace and happiness and all that stuff like that, but they're not giving people the info that they got. They're trying to play cult. But the seals got broken. Everybody knows that it was going to happen. And when the seals got broken, that was the Renaissance again by the Moors. Starting with all the Moors who were over here and got caught up in BS, slave, whatever. People try classifying them as Negro. And them going to court and fighting and winning as Moors. It's not something new, just started up. Noble Juali's bringing something new. right? He's reestablishing what was in existence. You don't need no ICC permission, UN permission. Are you organized? You organized? All right, well then, do what you do. Because you know funding and all that stuff from them. We have enough people. We have enough people. Because what is it about? It's about energy. And what's the point? The point is uplifting fallen humanity. Who's fallen humanity? Women and the children. Right? And again, going back to doing the divine work first. Forget the beat up on magistrates. Right? The divine stuff is uplifting fallen humanity. Because you have to cancel the lower self to do that. You can't uplift fallen humanity and be in your lower self. And that is the people who people have been following when it comes to Moorish movement, why stuff is warped. The calcified ego personality identity construct trapped in identification with roles that it plays. When we grand this and grand that and supreme grand whatever. And the divine plenipotentiary minister of whatever. All this is lower self stuff. You never hear Moby talk about he's starting some Moorish whatever because, you know, Noble Drew Ali didn't do it right, so I'm going to come and do something different that Noble Drew Ali did. When he's just recreating the wheel. Because man said that he brought us everything. Never see that Moor do that. But there's many Moors out there. Many. Many Moors. That are playing around. Like, oh yeah, I didn't print it. There's many Moors around there playing around like they got the keys. They got the keys. They got the stuff. They got nothing. It's gratifying their lower self. Role playing. Everybody wants a title. Everybody want to be a title of something. Instead of just going and doing what's supposed to be done. Make sure, just like they said in the article with Mother Estella, no matter what, she walk in the room and change the whole frequency because she was just such an amazing being. What did she do? She strived for good. I don't even know her. That's stuff that other people are saying. And not the half-ass one. Like, you know, son was a pimp and, you know what I mean, whatever like that. And people are doing their little sympathy one. Oh, you know, he was such a good boy and stuff. And the whole block knows that that guy has been pimping and stuff like that. What good boy you talking about? Right? Not those fake ones. The real ones. The reality ones. Because again, if the lower self, and again, you know, just go to Drew Ali, and he's making reference to this same stuff when he's talking about the lower self. This is just some stuff on a website just out there. But certain things have a common theme that no matter who's talking about it, it's going to be the same thing. You would only see that if you're looking at things divinely. Like we were telling these people the other day, everybody getting mad. You know, Farrakhan sold out the Scientology to the NOI and all that stuff. Yeah, Scientology is more science. What don't you get? Peter Moon told you that. Like, what's the issue? And again, it's divine side because he's a European. How is he a European? And he's actually, you know what? We might as well. Where the hell? Where are you at? Let's just see if. Because I know that there's no way that this European is gonna come and he's gonna be talking so hype about, and just in case I don't find it, it's Montauk Book of the Dead by Peter Moon. Just go get it and check. And you'll hear him in his book tell you that Scientology is more science. And because these people are so blockheaded is why, you know, Farrakhan spilled the beans and just start talking about Noble Drew all of a sudden. You know what? Forget this, because these people not getting it. These people not getting it. Because he's not going to come out and tell you. I'm telling you, he's not going to come out and tell you. But he's going to give you keys. Why? Because it's divine time right now. Everybody's everybody's running from justice. Nobody wants the scroll right now. Nobody wants the scroll of justice. Everybody's running from the scroll. Why? Because they've been gratifying their lower self. And that scroll would burn them up if they touch that scroll. Because they are caught up in the role playing. Got caught up in playing being the guy at the podium. Yeah, I'm the guy at the podium. I mean, I'm the guy. We're going to go over here and we're going to show you some stuff of the... Right? When you look at Noble Drew Ali, every single thing that he did was for the Moorish nation. He didn't do anything for himself. Like nothing that he did for himself. Everything that he did was on behalf of the beneficiaries who he knew were coming, that weren't even born yet. He knew that the beneficiaries were coming. And he did everything in his power to make sure that even if 50 years go by and you don't hear about me, you'll hear about me. And when you hear about me, it's gonna rocket ship you into your higher self out of your lower self. Because by the time you hear about it, you're not gonna have any choice. Which is where we're at now, where people don't have a choice. You're gonna be black? Yeah, go ahead, go over there, go be black over there. Right. Put this one out there for all the black people who want to play around. Right. Shonda Sav, Facebook, SHONDAASAVV. I don't know what's happening there, but when I got arrested for that riot, that's where they took us for 2 hours. All the black guys want to play like go march and go picket. If anybody recalls a loud noise back in June, this is from Salathiel Black Boy Boswell. Well, BLK boy. Might be blank boy. Block boy might be. Might not be black. You know. But anyways. Salathiel. SYLATHIO. Boswell. BOSWELL. If anybody recall a loud noise back in June, I found out what it was. Through my own investigation, the government closed Walmart down on 51st Street due to a plan of FEMA's new jail. They were secretly drilling a hole or tunnel leading to the Walmart. They have people out of town being paid hush money to secretly work inside. That's why you see security out there. Who needs security for a vacant building and lots? That's the sign there. That's the sign right there. When you see the security guard, abandoned, closed down, whatever. Think about this. So when you go around the old Walmart, look around. And the police were wearing military gear. They are getting ready to enforce martial law. Do your own research. And we already know, Moors already know. Negroes, they're playing around. They see tank and they say martial law. We've been martial law. Been martial law since they had slave catchers. Been martial law. Been martial law since people came over here and killed everything. There's been martial law. Right? But what is it? What is it all? It's all the gratification of the lower self. It's all the gratification of the lower self. And once you're moving toward not the highest good and gratifying the lower self, you're not going to be able to hold the justice scroll. So don't look to get any justice. There's no justice once you gratify your lower self. Right? It does not recognize the actual interconnectedness with our reality. It only looks at the physical and sees everything as completely separate. A left brain imbalance leads one to believe we are completely separate and everything operates like a machine, and there is no underlying consciousness involved. A right brain imbalance engenders a belief in no free will over what is happening, and nothing can change because God is in control of everything. Both worldviews reflect a calcified ego in internal confusion due to lack of understanding truth. Many people say they have morals, but when push comes to shove, they do not have true morals and are only concerned with their own lower self of comfort or their immediate family. Many people also have no concern and do not care about being connected with qualities of true intelligence, true care, true courage, and true will. These qualities are insignificant for someone trapped in ego identification. Right? Ego identification. That from what I'm told right now, again, ego identification, right? From what I'm told, this is what I was told. I'm told that this is the original, right? And it's supposed to be the lion and the lamb in yonder hills, just chilling, no war, right? This is the original. So this is what I was told, right? And I mean, it's on people's cover page and stuff like that. So this stuff is public record, right? But then, when certain people recreate stuff, saying that they're grand, this and that, no, I know that this right here is the neck, right? No, this is the neck, okay? Now, if that's the neck, and then that little space right there is supposed to be the seeing through the foot, where's the head of this lamb at? Now remember, this is somebody who's grand chic or whatever. They say they're pushing their whatever. Okay? But the lamb's head, like, why is it different? Why is it different? Well, it's different because people are gratifying their lower self. That's why. And trying to pose like doing things for Moors. When you have Brother Mobay, Brother Jamad, more just it had an influence on people. He wasn't trying to be no whatever. He wasn't the top guy. Oh yeah, people like me, so I'm gonna be the top guy. I'm gonna put this on and then I'm gonna be the top guy. No. Just being himself. Right? The lower self beings. Those are the ones you don't want to be like. The egomaniacs. The egomaniacs who never do it out of love. They always do it to get something. They always want something. Always something. You never just do it just because on the strength. There's always a catch or something like that. Lower self beings. They have most likely no idea what any of these terms mean. Many people also have not even heard of the word consciousness. They are concerned with their physical survival and daily operations in life. Consciousness and spiritual concepts have no significance for them. Zero significance for them. Higher self. Attaining self-knowledge, self-realization, self-actualization. Having being connected with higher levels of consciousness. It is breaking out of the mind control that keeps us in the lower vibratory state of mind and consciousness. The mind is the bridge between the body and the spirit. The mind or consciousness is what comes closest to spirit. The higher self is non-dual in that it is only an expression of good. There is no evil existent at the highest frequency level of consciousness. Spirit is goodness, God is goodness, etc. And there is no evil present. It may not be clear yet, but by the end of the article, you should understand the relation between what it is good, what is right, what is true, and the higher self, spirit, etc. When we align, harmonize, unite, integrate, and connect with the higher self, then we also have a higher level of alignment with truth and expansion of consciousness. The more we and others expand and evolve consciousness, the less there will be of lies, deceptions, and illusions for us to be attached to and divide us. The more we, right, all of us, and others, people classify as Negro, black, colored, African, whatever they call themselves, expand and evolve consciousness, right? Expand and evolve consciousness, the less there will be of lies, deceptions, and illusions for us to be attached to and divide us. The more we all recognize and appreciate the fact that this individual brought us back a nationality, which is the thing that we're lacking in order for us to have unity. as a people, as one people. Remember, it's only the conscious black guys that are out the loop. Only the conscious black guys are out the loop. We already told you, go check Mantis Views 29 and go hear the so-called African tell you that black means death. She lying? Oh, the European enslaved her mind? Oh, really? Oh, the European enslaved her mind. But she's here, not over there. She's here and she has a store and stuff like that. The European enslaved her mind. And she only sells stuff from her country in that store. She doesn't sell no Avon and stuff like that. Oh, but she's a sellout. Okay. Again, people gravitating on their lower self. Don't even wanna deal with the higher self. They're so disagreeable, like Dr. York talked about, Dr. York L. The disagreeable beings. Those are the same ones gravitating on their lower self. Stay away from those people. Do not let those people in your cipher. Because once you let them in, they're not leaving. Why? Because their energy is going to stay there. Trust us, we know. We've had to do rituals on paper to exile Moors because their energy was still around. They're not there, their body's not there, but their energy is still there because they weren't that being that walked in the door. They were an entity, a disagreeable entity. And sometimes you have to sprinkle some, salt. Just because. Right? No. This symbol, 7, with 4 quadrants around it, making a broken circle, known as the Logos. Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. Logos. Logos is the Christ, the Son, the divine light, the living word, or word of the Supreme, and it contains all potentiality. All things were made by it. Man can appropriate all or a part as he chooses. In other words, Jesus expressed in its fullness, and he became the Logos or word made flesh. In other words, Jesus so unified himself in thought, word, and deed with this inner Christ, Logos word, creative principle of God, in which all are ideas in the divine mind. Life, substance, intelligence, wisdom, love, strength, power, that even his seemingly mortal or flesh body took on the divine nature and became immortal, was wholly transformed into godlikeness spirituality. Thus, throughout his entire being, Jesus showed forth the glory and perfection of the Father. Those who follow him can make his full attainment that he made if they accept as he did, and all possibility of the principle. An understanding of the Logos reveals to us the law under which all things are brought forth, the law of mind action. The divine mind creates by thought through ideas. Creation takes place through the operation of the Logos. God is thinking the universe into manifestation right now. The beginning is always now, since it has to do with eternal and not within time. The law of the divine creation is the order and harmony of perfect thought. The word Logos thought of God, Son, or Christ, in which is the creative power of the Father God, all possibility, all potentiality, the foundation principle, the true inner self of every individual, is ever associated in the glory of creating, and all men should honor the Son even as they honor the Father, since the Father and the Son are one. Since the Father and the Son are one. Right? So the Father and the Son are the same. So they're just one. And they didn't come from Holy Spirit. And again, it goes back again to what Joel Ali said about uplifting fallen humanity. That it's really about the women. Because they bring fathers and sons. And uncles and granddads and great-grand-uncles and whatever else. Masculine. This is just as true of the Logos or Christ in us as it was and is of the Logos or Word that became flesh in Jesus Christ. It is the idea of God. Oh yeah, and I know people, oh my God, you're saying Jesus Christ and stuff like that. These Moors are Christians and stuff like that. No. Remember what we talked about a little while ago? About when you hear Islam, Moors say Islam, and then you start looking at ISIS and looking at people who run around stuff and think that, oh yeah, well, Moore said Allah, so that means what they're doing, what they say Allah is, then that's the Moors. No. Don't even try it. When we say Jesus, well, we're getting there. But had to interject because there's a lot of Jesus and stuff like that you might have heard. Don't get it twisted and think we're talking about some European on the wall in some church. That's not what we're talking about when Moors, who are students of Noble Jew Ali, say Jesus. We're not talking about some European on the wall. Alright? We're not talking about that. What are you talking about? Study some Noble Jew Ali. And that'll be a start. Because, Noble Jew Ali taught man knows not by being told. So just go study some Noble Jew Ali. I'll say you can start with something called 101 questionnaire. With regard to the, why Moors say Jesus, why do we say Jesus? We don't mean European on the wall when we say Jesus. We don't mean some invisible or whatever when we say Allah. Right? Jesus. This is Metaphysical Bible Dictionary. The I in man, the self, the directive power, raised to divine understanding and power, the I am identity. We may put on the new man, that is, bring forth Jesus Christ in ourselves. First we must put away the old man of error and limitation through denial of his reality. The second step is to accept the truth of our being in faith, even through understanding, to begin diligently to live truth in thought, word, and deed. The Christ is the man that God created, the perfect idea man, and is the real self of all men. Jesus Christ is this Christ self brought forth into perfect expression and manifestation. He is the type man. We are exhorted to have his mind in you, which was also in Christ Jesus, which implies that all may demonstrate as he did. To make this attainment requires careful training of the thoughts. The mind that was in Christ was the mind of God, so we know that we must be perfect even as the Father in heaven is perfect. This seems an almost superhuman attainment, and so it is. The human has to be put away and the divine established in its place. The human is transient and fallible. The divine is permanent and infallible. In the individual consciousness, the meaning of Jesus being born in Bethlehem of Judah is that the principles of truth have laid hold of the intelligent substance of spirit, Bethlehem, and through praise, Judea, have brought the Christ into manifestation. It is wise to protect the newborn spiritual consciousness from contact with Herod, the personal ego. Herod seeks the young child to destroy him, but under the guidance of spirit, no harm comes to the child. He is taken down to Egypt, down into the protected places of the subconsciousness, to remain until the personal ego destroys itself. Then the Christ child is free to come forth and to express. Priests, and then do your research on Levites. Judge, truth itself, with which every thought in consciousness must harmonize. Soul. The scriptures give spirit, soul, and body as constituting all of man. Spirit is I am, the same in character as divine mind or God. Soul is man's consciousness, that which he has apprehended or developed out of spirit. Also the impressions that he has received from the outer world. Soul is both conscious and subconscious. Body is the form of expression of both spirit and soul. In its invisible forces, it expresses spirit, and in its seeming materiality, it pictures its limitations of soul. Man is eternal, one with the Father of his divine essence as the divine will. But when that will is sent forth to carry out the ideas, wisdom, a condition is set up, a state of consciousness called soul, and its outer court called the body. Darkness, the failure to understand that settles upon the soul in times of great trial. So we wanted to get to part of what the whole concept of us talking about Jesus, right? We made reference to the different entities, angels, the guides, you know what I mean, the higher self, lower self, that are external, but you know, you might be one of those, except angels. You might be one of those. And we will that it's not the lower self. We will that, you know, you're at least going in the direction toward the higher self. We go back again to Noble Drew Ali, presenting documentation for the Moors with regard to Jesus. Now when you read the 101 questionnaire with regard to why or what does Jesus mean to Moors, this is why. That's the answer when you read the 101 questionnaire. So when you go to the 101 questionnaire, there's a question talking about what does Jesus mean, right? And again, we're speaking about the divine, so that when we look at things that Noble Drew Ali did, we realize that he was telling us both sides. He was giving us the physical the manifestation, but he was also giving us the behind the scenes so we can be clear as to where we're supposed to be. If we say that, we're Moorish American or whatever, right? So we're going to be reading from the Silent Brotherhood, right, or Red Book, right, Mysteries of the Silent Brotherhood. And this is Jesus passes the second brotherhood test. And then keep in mind all the stuff that we read before. I'm sure you're taking notes, right? That you jotted down. So when we gave certain words from the Metaphysical Bible Dictionary and their definitions, that's how you look at these words when you hear them in this. You don't look at them any other way. You're looking at them with a higher meaning than what the finite mind meaning could comprehend. Right? This is why you have to have on top of all the other dictionaries, your metaphysical Bible dictionary. Because even though it says Bible, metaphysics doesn't, metaphysics transcends, quote unquote, schools of thought. Right? It's in all of them. Somewhere, some way, shape, or form, it's there. The Logos did not care to rest. He said, "Why wait in this luxurious room? I need not rest. My Father's work upon me presses hard. I would go on and learn my lessons all. If there are trials, let them come, for every victory over self gives added strength." And then the guide led on. And in a chamber, dark as night, was Jesus, placed and left alone. And days were spent in his deep solitude. And Jesus slept. And in the dead of the night, a secret door was opened. These men and their secret doors. A secret door was opened. And in priest attire, two men came in, each carrying in his hand a little flickering lamp. Approaching Jesus, one spoke out and said, "Young man, our hearts are grieved because of what you suffer in these fearful dens, and we have come as friends to bring you light and to show you the way to liberty. We once, like you, were in these dens confined, and thought that through these weird, uncanny ways we could attain to blessedness and power. But in a luckful moment, we were deceived, and making use of all our strength, we broke our chains, and then we learned that all this service is corruption in disguise. These priests are criminals, just hid away. The boast of sacrificial rites they offer to their gods, and burn them while alive, poor birds and beasts, yea, children, women and men. And now they keep you here. A certain time may offer you in sacrifice. We pray for you, brother, break your chains. Come go with us. Accept of freedom while you may." And Jesus said, "Your little tapers show the light you bring. Pray, who are you? The words of man are worth no more than the man himself." Ouch. "These temple walls are strong and high. How gained you entrance in this place?" Secret door. Right? Keep in mind, we're talking about the test and being tested. And test comes in all shapes and forms. But when the test comes, it's going to come from either a teacher that is trying to lead you to, where you're supposed to go, or it's going to be a lower self entity. that is trying to lead you off your path. Trying to get you to do the thing that you were just studying and realized that, damn, I've been doing this thing wrong the whole time. I gotta go change or whatever. As soon as you try to go change, something's gonna come try to put you right back on, nah, forget that, you're black or whatever. Something's gonna try. Something's gonna try to make you, not trust in your higher self. That is, really who you are. The divine being who knows. Not the being that, is trying to find its way. The being who knows already. Certain things, as Moors know. Certain things that see it coming. Waiting for it, like, come on. Just turn the corner. Ah, there you are, gotcha. Because you're on the plane where you see from the high road. So you see all the culprits and everybody else. Right? The walls here are high. Like how you get in here? How do you get in here? What secret door you talking about? There ain't no doors in here. How you get in here? Because I know I got brought here by myself. How do you guys get in here? Right? Again, as soon as it doesn't make sense, it's probably lower self trying a thing on you. As soon as it seems off, oh, 2 black cats. What do you say? I just saw 2 cats or whatever. It just did the same thing. We got problems right now. Abort. Right? We need to leave immediately. Pick up on the vibe. You're only picking up on the vibe if higher self. If you're striving for the highest good. If you're not striving for the highest good, then you're going to have Bentleys and front court seats and stuff like that, doing interviews and all that stuff. Hugging Hillary on stage and all that if you right? Because I was dealing with Brother Omar Bey last night. And we're talking about how it's officially official that these young people's role models are only some entertainer people. And that's it. If that's not disenfranchisement, marginalization, ADHD and all the other stuff, then look at the people who they used as the generation's spokespeople. It's no different than what they did in the 60s when they threw, their little people up there, their messy Jessies and those people. There's the same thing going on. History just repeating itself. The same entertainer cooning people. You know what I mean? Fat Al just owns a ball team now. Fat Al is your child's favorite rapper. Fat Al's not suit and tie guy anymore. Abernathy and all the agents, them. Agents aren't those guys anymore. Game's changed. Did you peep the change, or you still on the old paradigm? Because remember, it's divine time now. Right? The assault on the psychological is stepping up. Has to, because they don't got nothing left. All they got left is get people's minds. all they have left. They don't have any. They can't do anything. You know what I mean? Sandra Bland stood up to them. Corin Gaines stood up to them. They don't got no power like that anymore. If everybody says, yeah, whatever, yo, nationality card up, next door. And then next door up, nationality card up next door. You know what I mean? Thanks for checking on us, you know what I mean? National Guard, thank you. You know what I mean? But yeah, you go check the next people. Because we're not in the jurisdiction, we're just domicile here. To see when they're, how gained you entrance in this place? How'd you get in here? It's how you know the lower self entities. They pop up. The men replied, beneath these walls are hidden ways, and we have been priests, spent months and years within these dens, and know all of them. Then you are traitors, Jesus said. A traitor is a fiend who betrays another man, is never a man to trust. If one has only reached the plane of treachery, he is a lover of deceit, and will betray a friend to save himself or herself. Behold, you men, or whatever you be. Which even though shows that he knew that they might not be men just because they have arms, head, legs, and stuff like that. Behold, you men, or whatsoever you be, your words fall lightly on my ears. Could I prejudge these 100 priests, turn traitor to myself and them, because of what you say when you confess your treachery? No man can judge for me. And if I judge before testimony, all is in. I might not judge aright. Nay, men, by whatsoever way you came, return. My soul prefers the darkness of the grave to little flickering lights like these you bring. My conscience rules. What these my brothers have to say, I will hear. And when the testimony all is in, I will decide. You cannot judge for me, nor I for you. Begone, you men, begone, and leave to me this charming light. For while the sun shines not, within my soul there is a light surpassing that of the sun and moon. And then, when an angry threat that they would do him harm, the vile tempters left, and Jesus was alone. Again the white-robed priest appears and led the way, and Jesus stood again before the Hierophant. And not a word was said, but in his hands the master placed a scroll on which the word justice was inscribed. And Jesus was the master of the phantom forms of prejudice and of treachery. So the prejudice and treachery are phantom forms, illusions of grandeur, illusions. They think that they about to do something, but they don't stand a chance. They do not stand a chance, because fortunately the divine is in control right now. And because the divine is in control, everything else is done for. Nothing else is going to stand a chance. Brother Sheldon sent me something, which was, you know, people do stuff, right? And, you know, everybody has their own will to do whatever they do. You know, but things have been done on the divine side to get us to, you know, consider, appreciate whatever, you know what I mean, who we really are. And this is just another example of being told in our face about who we are, and us just, you know, shrug it off. Russell Hobbs, fictional American musician, member of the virtual band Gorillaz. He provides the drums and percussion for the band. Like all other Gorilla band members, he was created by Damon Albarn and Jamie Hewlett in 1998. Like all of the other Gorillaz members, Russell was not based on a real person, but was instead conceptualized by Hewlett and Albarn as the personification of hip-hop aspect of guerrilla music to embody the spirit of collaboration with various rappers. Russell Hobbs provides the percussion for Gorillaz, and he can invoke the souls of dead rappers from the fictional hip-hop canon. On the debut Gorilla album, Russell called upon and embodied the soul of Del the Ghost Rapper, a character voiced by and loosely based on American rapper Del the Funky Homo Sapien. This came about when Russell was a teenager and he was in the hip-hop scene and had lots of friends who were rappers. Unfortunately, this changed when a drive-by shooting happened and he was the only survivor. After that event, all of his friends who were killed possessed his body, making his eyes completely white and making him amazingly skilled at playing music. Russell Hobbs of Gorillaz. Just put that one out there. Peace to the Gorillaz for accepting the more. And peace to Russell Hobbs, the fictional stuff. Remember, Sister Selah Bay told us we need to look at the fictional stuff more for the real stuff. Right? Shout out to Sister Selah Lee Bay. Make sure you Google her and get some of those curriculums she's working on and stuff. Etymology. But yes, honors to the Gorillaz. Honors to Russell. Repping for the Moors, even though he's virtual. Repping for the Moors. It's repping for you. So Islam to all the Moors, you know, I'm telling you, it's divine, you know. We got 43 viewers, it says here, which is 7, because it's divine. You can't make stuff up. You can't. 43. So Islam to all the Moors. I know that there was some glitching or some BS people were telling me. But you know how they do. They're never going to let it run smooth. So don't forget, 9:30 Eastern Standard Time, MHHS, Eyes Wide Open. MHHS, Eyes Wide Open, Blog Talk Radio. And then also, can't forget the new book, Watch My Prophecies. It's out, khalifamedia.com. So this is the new one, Watch My Prophecies. And, you know, just going through the prophecies of Noble Juali with articles of prophecies of the prophet that actually manifested, just so we could prove to people that he wasn't some circus magician guy, black guy. He was actually a prophet, and it is really real. So Islam, Moors, peace and love. You know, feel free to send a little feedback whether this is better or you stream, because regardless we're suffering or whatever. Regardless, they got us right now. So Islam to all the Moors, 5 on the left, 2 on the right. Allah the Father of the universe, Father of love, truth, peace, freedom, and justice. Allah is my protector, my guide, and my salvation, by night and by day, through his holy prophet, Noble Jew Ali, Islam. And don't forget, you know what I mean, check out MoorishDirectory.com, publishedinfo.net, MoorishCivilLetter.net. If you like that music at the beginning, that's the Wisdom of the Womb, the new compilation album coming out of Canaanland. Reggae artists, spoken word artists, hip hop artists, you know, everybody's singers, you know what I mean? So if you want to support 25 Notes, and we'll email you the folders. It's a triple disc. Right? It's pretty heavy, 30 something tracks, right? Producers from all over the nation, right? And MCs from Canaanland, spoken word artists from, you know, just s'mores, doing what we do, doing our best, get that word out. If you want to support with that, PayPal, email culturaleducators@gmail.com, 25 Notes, and we'll email you the stuff. Just put your email address in the whatever email address you want the music folder to get sent to. Alright? And again, you can't forget rvbaypublications.com. When you go there, stay there, don't move. rvbaypublications.com. Islam to all the Moors. Oh yeah, and don't forget activemoors.com, moorishdirectory.com. Make sure you check those ones too. And those will lead to others. For Islam, peace and love.